Welcome to the Nicholas 11X12 technology. Today we're looking at the LG IPS234V 23-inch IPS LED LCD monitor. The exact model name being IPS234V-PN. A LED backlight is used. Alright, here's the box. Again, this is a LG IPS LED LCD monitor. This is the IPS234, so we're talking of the 23-inch model. These are 58 centimeters, by the way. However, this isn't a regular TN display. Instead, this monitor uses an IPS panel for the best color accuracy and viewing angles. Of course, full HD resolution. It comes with energy-saving features, dual packaging, which basically is just marketing, and this monitor should also offer some kind of cable management option. Here on the side you can see again the model name and then the exact one below. Now let's skip the unboxing process and get right to the content. Alright, this is the nice looking stand, and that part here actually goes onto the stand. Then there's also a plastic bag inside. And there was this CD with the manual, drivers, and so on. The easy setup guide. To power the monitor up, you get this power adapter. An analog cable, so VGA cable, is also included, but that's all. You get no additional display cables, and to be honest, you should get at least a DVI cable besides VGA. Last but not least, the monitor itself protected. I'll quickly take it out, and there it is. The screen actually looks very nice. But let's move on to the specifications first. The LG IPS234V-PN is an LCD monitor with a LED backlight. This is a 23-inch screen, and that are 58 centimeters. An IPS panel is used, and the resolution of this monitor would be 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. It has a brightness level of 250 candela per square meter, and the dynamic contrast ratio would be 5 million by 1. The monitor has a typical response time of 14 milliseconds, and the viewing angles are 178 degrees horizontal as well as 178 degrees vertical. The DVI, VGA and HDMI signal inputs are present, and there also is a single headphone audio output. The typical power consumption according to LG are 27 watts and 0.3 watts in standby mode. Now once I've put everything together, here it is. A standard glossy plastic frame is used, but the screen itself is matte, which I prefer, to be honest. Down here is a nice LG logo, and the monitor comes with a quite modern looking stand. The whole monitor is very lightweight actually. The aesthetics of this monitor are fantastic in my opinion. It looks modern, but yet very simple, and I like that. The bezel looks very neat, and most consumers will definitely like the glossy plastic used here. Like said before, the stand looks very nice, although the screen is quite wobbly. Tilting this monitor is very easy, and I didn't experience any problems here. Something the majority of people will really appreciate is the slim design of the monitor, and LG's design makes the back look very elegant. Now this is the cable management option that's offered here. You just plug in the monitor cables and then route these down here and then to the PC and outlet. That's a great idea actually. On the back you see there are 4 screw threads. This means you can use VESA mounting to mount this screen onto the wall. Here's your power connection, the DVI connection, the D-sub-so VGA connection, then there's also a HDMI connection, and last but not least a single headphone audio output. And you really get a good amount of display connections to choose from, which is good, and therefore I can't complain here. This monitor doesn't come with touch sensitive buttons, instead it comes with physical ones, and I'm a big fan of these. However, the OSD menu is a little bit confusing, and the labeling for the buttons aren't the greatest in terms of simplicity. But this doesn't really matter all that much, because you normally wouldn't set things up in the OSD menu that often anyways. But let's finally talk about the picture quality. Let's start with a simple dark gray solid background. That's where I notice problems. This monitor has some backlight bleeding as well as a yellow tint on the bottom left hand corner. Well, not really in the corner, but right beside it. It's very strong here, and to be honest, for me, it's quite distracting, since I want accurate color reproduction all over the whole screen. When looking at the simple gray solid background, you'd also notice the yellow tint that's going on here, of course in the same place. You see on the left right here, the gray is a little darker than on this side. The right side looks perfectly okay. The left side, however, especially at the bottom, doesn't look very good. Now, I'll show you some colors, the intensity, brightness, contrast and the power consumption. So the LG IPS234V-PN is not a bad monitor for the price. The design of it is beautiful and the color accuracy is good. The promised viewing angles are very good too, no complaints here. Things that really bother me are the yellow tint in the bottom left area of the screen, which is quite distracting, especially when looking at dark images or colors such as black, gray, dark blue, dark red, dark green, and so on. It's very noticeable, and if you're looking for a 100% color reproduction all over the screen, this monitor simply doesn't do the job. Backlight bleeding in the bottom left area is another problem, which makes the yellow tint even worse. However, I can't say just because my specific model had these problems that your model will have these as well. Things like that can happen, shouldn't, but they happen. And you always have to keep in mind, it's my specific monitor that's having these issues. Yours could work just perfectly fine. Unfortunately, this monitor lacks gamma settings to choose from, and that could make the picture seem too dark. Sometimes it's very good if you see great black levels, but it's not alright if you can't really turn the gamma settings up. You're very limited here. A lot of people want to have an IPS monitor for the most accurate colors and want to play games with the same monitor. There definitely are screens out there that allow that. These screens have a fast enough response time for gaming with great color reproduction. Unfortunately, this isn't the case with this monitor. The 14 milliseconds response time makes the screen a little slow, and you can definitely notice that even when working on the desktop. So I wouldn't say this is suitable for the gamer. However, some people don't mind it at all and can play games with such a monitor without any problems. But for the hardcore or average gamer, I'd say don't go with this monitor. There are better ones out there for gaming, even with IPS panels for just about the same price or a little more. So long story short, get this monitor if you're looking for a cheap entry-level IPS monitor that offers somewhat good color accuracy. If you're looking to mount your screen onto the wall, this definitely works very well with this monitor, since it supports the VESA mount. The yellow tint and the backlight bleeding make this monitor really bad for my personal use, which is content creation. Pros are beautiful design and good color accuracy. Unfortunately, there are more cons than pros, such as the yellow tint in the bottom left area of the screen, the backlight bleeding in the bottom left area. Then this monitor lacks gamma settings, which can cause a too dark picture, and last but not least, the slow 14 millisecond response time doesn't make this monitor suitable for gaming. And because there are so many cons, I can only give this monitor a 3 out of 10, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and visit nicholas11x12techx.com to see videos there earlier than on YouTube.